Bro, brownie is hard, bro.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and I'm addicted to TikTok. What if I did that for real? Welcome back to my channel. It's Ebony, and today I have the most delicious dessert recipe for you guys. It is a keto-fied salted caramel cheesecake. So, little fun fact about me, my fiance and I love Cheesecake Factory. And when we were not on keto, we would go there all the time just for the cheesecake. And my favorite one is the salted caramel cheesecake. And I had to make it keto-fied because it wouldn't be me without being extra and making all my favorite things keto-fied for you guys. So, if you're interested, let's stay tuned and let's get into the video. Alright, so you're going to start by taking 3 8-ounce softened cream cheeses and putting them in a mixing bowl. I use Philadelphia cream cheese, but feel free to use any that you have on hand. Then you're just going to mix them together until they're smooth. Next, you're going to take 5 tablespoons of softened, unsalted butter and mix it in with the cream cheese. Alright, so now you're going to take 1 cup of the powdered sugar Swerve and add it in and mix it all up as well. It's important to make sure that you mix all these ingredients very well because you don't want a clunky, chunky cheesecake, okay? So make sure you're mixing these ingredients until they are all smooth together so that way you can have a rich, creamy, smooth texture of your cheesecake. Now you're going to take about 8 ounces or 1 cup of sour cream and mix it in till it's creamy smooth. Now you're going to take 1.5 teaspoons of pure vanilla. Y'all, do yourself a favor and use pure vanilla and not imitation. It tastes way better, okay? Now you're going to take 1/4 teaspoon of pure lemon extract. You can use fresh lemon, but all I had was the lemon extract, so this is what I use. Now this part is optional, and for all my keto police out there, please don't come for me, but I just feel like this takes it to the next level. All I used was 1/4 teaspoon of the instant jello mixture, and I don't know, I love the flavor that this gives. You don't have to use it if you're on strict keto, but like, I mean, it just tastes so good. Now that the mixture is all creamy and smooth, it's time for a taste test. And I always recommend to taste before you add the eggs because, you know, salmonella, we don't want her. Alright, and it was perfect just the way it was. Now that you've given it a taste test, it's time to add your eggs. And you're just going to add each one at a time and mix it in slowly. Once the eggs are fully mixed in, we're going to set this mixture in the refrigerator while it's time to make our crust. For our crust, we're going to start with about 1 1/4 cups of almond flour and place it in a mixing bowl. Next, we're going to melt about 4 tablespoons of butter. Of course, I use Kerrygold, and then we're going to mix it all together. Next, to add a little sweetness, we're going to add about 1 tablespoon of the brown sugar Swerve. Y'all, do not skip this step. It makes your crust delicious. I'm also going to add about 1 tablespoon of the golden monkfruit sweetener as well. Now, if you only have 1 brown sweetener, you can just use that, 2 tablespoons of that, that's fine. But I like the mixture of both. I feel like it makes it taste really well. I'm also going to add a dash of cinnamon, and then just going to add a few, like 2 turns of sea salt, okay? Don't forget the salt. After mixing all the crust ingredients up really well, we're going to take our springform pan and wrap the bottom of it with foil. Now this will help make sure the cheesecake doesn't spill out over into the water bath. Next, we're going to make sure we thoroughly spray and coat our pan with oil so that nothing sticks. Now we're going to take our crust mixture and evenly distribute it across the bottom of the pan. Now this may take some time, but I like to take my time to make sure every part is evenly coated. I like to start with my fingers and then hit it with the spoon around the edges. After all the crust is evenly distributed, you're going to pop this in the oven on 350 for about 10 minutes. After you take it out the oven, it's time to put it in the water bath. And what I did was I took about 2 cups of water and microwaved it for about 5 minutes. You can also put this in a kettle, but I don't have a kettle, so I just put it in the microwave. And there's your water bath. Now it's time to put the cheesecake mixture in. Make sure you smooth out all the edges and get the top as smooth as you possibly can. Now it's time to put the cheesecake in for about 1 hour to 70 minutes. When it's done baking, it should look like this. Now you're going to leave it in the oven with the oven turned off for another hour. After resting in the oven for an hour, you're going to place the cheesecake on the counter for another hour and then refrigerate for at least 4 hours, but I refrigerate it overnight. Now it's time for the best part, the caramel sauce. So you're going to start with 5 tablespoons and you're going to melt it down and brown it. I know brown butter sounds disgusting, but trust me, it's delicious. This whole process takes about 5 to 7 minutes for it to start browning, but you'll start to see little tiny pieces of brown, and that's when it's ready. After the butter has browned, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of the brown sugar Swerve. Next, I'm going to add about 2/3 cup of heavy whipping cream. I kind of added too much, but it's okay. Next, you're going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of your salt of choice. I use the pink Himalayan salt because it tastes delicious in this salted caramel. This part is optional, but now I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla. After cooking it on medium heat for about 5 to 7 minutes, it's finally ready to be stored. Now I'm going to pour it in a mason jar to let it cool completely before pouring over the top of our cheesecake. Let it sit for at least about 2 hours. Don't refrigerate it. Now we're going to take the sides off of our springform pan, and it's time to put the caramel on it. Alright, so what I like to do is just put a little at first and spread it all around. And once that's all spreaded out, I'll pour the rest. And oh my gosh, y'all, it looks so amazing and tastes even better. I also saved just a little bit of the caramel to put on each slice because you know I'm extra like that. But feel free to use it all or store some for later. And there we have it, our finished salted caramel cheesecake. Please give this recipe a try. You won't regret it. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the next video. Bye.